So I think one of the biggest questions or debates that marketing as a discipline is having today is about how to balance two different aspects of the marketing function, as we normally call it, the art and the science. So one way we think about marketing today is because of the availability of a lot of data. There's really complex analytics that can be performed on it, deep dives that can be performed into data. So we can generate a lot of really interesting, fascinating insights from about customer behavior and so on. Equally, I think we need to recognize that there is complexity and nuance that goes beyond simply just what the numbers reveal. And that's where the art comes in. I often like to think about marketing as a fine wine. If you think about it, a wine from France has got such interesting notes, right? Really interesting, fascinating secondary notes, tertiary notes. I'm a wine aficionado, by the way. Just so that comes from there, right? I mean, the notion that the customer is complex, is a human being who has got lots of motivations, deep motivations, underpinnings, which are kind of driving behavior. And that's really what we need to understand. And so marrying the insights that we get from the data, which will give us some very interesting analytical things that we can look at, but equally to also make sense of this data using all the deep psychological aspects of how we think about human behavior and marrying the two together. That's really where marketing can blossom. Increasingly so. We are seeing this happening more and more. A lot of companies are embracing the role of a CMO. Great Lakes itself has a CMO, and we are kind of very eager to look at how the marketing function can actually perform a much more vital role in organizations, and I think this is happening. The basics still remain the same. Basics remain understanding the overall strategy of a company, trying to think about what the company, what the scope of the business is, and so on, and what its competencies are. What is competition likely to do, and particularly in today's environment where you think about disruption and all the stuff that is happening today, where no advantage can last for too long, being able to project what your competition is likely to do in the future, and recognizing that you cannot be simply an incumbent and rely on the wisdom that this is all the way that we have always done things, and that's not going to help anymore. So so competition we need to understand, and third, of course, we need to understand our customers. And so the 3Cs. So of course, we talked about the 4Ps, 3Ps, all the different things that we talk about. Beyond all that, I think what is important is go back to fundamentals, understand the context in which all of this is happening, and recognizing that change. So if I were to add one more C, it is change, and that change is a reality. That nothing can be taken for granted, and as corporations, as companies, we always need to be agile. We need to be really fast. We need to adapt. And we need to experiment, which means we should be prepared to fail at times and succeed at other times. But failure is not a bad thing, because it teaches us a lot of lessons. And the nice thing about this is, of course, the fact that we now have a fifth C, which is the cloud, where you can add do a lot of things in the cloud, experiment, try new experiments, and then see what works, what doesn't work at a relatively low cost.